He joins us now for the very first time on the program. Le meilleur, Cédric Doumbé. Hello, Cédric. Ça va, mon ami?
Hey Ariel, comment ça va?
Ah, ça va très bien, ça va très bien. Merci pour le temps. J'apprécie. Very excited to have you on. My guy, New York Rick, has been talking about you for a long time. Congratulations on signing with PFL. And I have to say, Cédric, you have quite the fan base, my friend. Wow. Unbelievable. They really are loyal towards you. They love you, these people. When I put out who's going to be on the show, everyone was Cédric, Cédric. These people love you.
Yeah, listen, I tell you what, a lot of people loves me in France, and a lot of people hate me in France. You know, so I have a huge people who's waiting for my first fight in PFL. That's crazy.
Why do people hate you? I can understand why they love you. Why do they hate you?
Because I'm the best. Because I'm the best. That's why they hate me. They hate me because I talk a lot. And you know, people like, they don't like when you talk a lot. Like, trash talking is very like new in France. So some people, they don't like it.
Okay. So you're not afraid to say you're going to whoop ass, you're going to beat this guy, that you're the best. You're not afraid, and that rubs people the wrong way.
Not at all, because I train a lot for that. So I'm very confident.
Okay.
And I already like, I did it in in kickboxing.
Yes.
I was the same. I talk, but I buck it up.
Okay, so I actually want to go to kickboxing because I need to go in chronological order here if I can. When you decide, you're two-time Glory welterweight champion. You have great success.
7-time Glory welterweight.
No, but like I mean, like you won it in 2 different occasions, right? And then you defend it. But I just mean like,
yeah.
So you have great success, and then you say, "I'm done. I'm going to MMA." Why? You had so much success there. Why did you leave kickboxing for MMA? Why did you decide to cross over a few years ago?
It's just about, a new challenge, because, I was boring in kickboxing. It was always the same, KO first round, KO second round, always the same opponent, and when I saw that MMA is starting to growing like in Europe, and also I heard that MMA is coming in France, I was like, that was a new challenge for me. I was like, I know I can do it. I was watching Conor McGregor fight. I was watching the hype around the MMA. I was like, I can do it too. I'm the best striker, and I know I can learn also wrestling and BJJ. And I was like, okay, let's do it.
Okay, so you make the switch. You have a little bit of success, and then everyone says, we want to see you in the UFC. And wouldn't you know it, the UFC is coming to Paris for the first time. This is perfect. And you're signed to fight Darian Weeks. Right. Why didn't you end up fighting on that card in Paris last September?
That's a crazy story. You know what? I signed a contract with UFC at first. I signed a contract. I was about to announce my signature with UFC, and then I made RMI. That's why
MRI.
you call it
MRI.
Yeah, MRI. And that was a mistake. A doctor made a mistake in that test, and he figured out that I have like a blood in my brain, And I used to do it like so many times when I fought. I have one boxing fight, and I used to do it. So I just sent the paper to the UFC. I didn't even check it, and they just respond to us that I can fight because the RMI is bad. And then we did. So that's why I didn't fight in UFC Paris. That's why. That was a very big mistake.
So the story that I had heard originally was that the commission in France said that you didn't have enough experience compared to Darian Weeks. Is that not true?
That's the second reason also.
Oh.
There is a law in France. I cannot fight opponent under 10 fight. I cannot fight an opponent with like five fight difference. I don't know if you understand.
Yeah, I get that. It's a crazy thing for someone like you who has like, what do you have? Like 80 something kickboxing matches? Like
80. Yeah. 80 kickboxing matches.
It's kind of crazy, right? I mean, like, what are we talking about here? Like your level of fighting is a lot higher, but then they say to you, okay, you're not going to fight in Paris. For you, that close to having this great moment, how devastating was that for you?
That was crazy. I was in the audience in Paris. The The arena was sold out. The the French audience was crazy. Were crazy. I was very sad. I was watching the teammate Cyril Gann, Nassourdine, all the French fighters. They were amazing, and I was very very sad. But I knew that my time would come. When God, I never doubt of God's plans. So I was sad, but it is what it is.
And so we all thought, all right, it's not going to work out for Paris, but eventually you will fight for the UFC later on in 2022 or 2023. Why didn't that happen?
I was after that story, I went to negotiation with Bellator, with One Championship, with UFC, and also with PFL, and I just had a better contract with PFL. That's why.
But did the UFC release you after that?
After the test,
MRI, they released you. They said we can't give you a fight.
Exactly. And then I went back to another doctor.
Yeah.
To 3 different doctors, and they say it's okay. That was a mistake. Oh. There is nothing in my brain. That everything is cool. So that's why I had to negotiate again, because between the first UFC Paris and now, like my fame and also my fan base grow a lot. I earn a lot of people in my fan base, so we started to negotiate again, and PFL offered me like a way better contract.
I think who was it who said it? Was it Big Pun or Fat Joe? Yesterday's prices and today's price. You know what I'm saying? You're a lot more popular. You got to come to the table, right? You know what I'm talking about?
Exactly.
So they released you, and then did you show them the new tests? And did they acknowledge that
of course.
It was okay for you to fight?
I showed the new test. It was okay to me to fight.
And were they interested in
3 different doctors? They say.
Was the UFC interested in re-signing you? Did they make you a deal?
I had a deal. I had a deal on the table, and that was not interesting for me. And UFC is very difficult with negotiation. They know they are they know. Of course, UFC were the first big promotion in MMA. They know that, and better than me how it's difficult to talk with UFC.
What are you talking about, Cedric? They're great people. What are you talking about, my guy? What are you talking about? They're very reasonable.
And UFC and UFC fighter knows better than me how is it's very difficult to talk with UFC. So, and beside that, I really had a very better contract with PFL, and PFL is the future. I'm very glad with my contract right now, and I know I will show a great Cedric Doumbé for France, for Cameroon, for Africa in PFL. PFL is the future, man.
Did Bellator make a play for you? Because they just had a show in Paris. Paris is a good market for them. Did they try to sign you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've talked with Bellator, and also the same. The contract was we weren't happy with the contract, so that's why I didn't sign with Bellator.
So in the end, you go with PFL. Can you tell me how many times more bigger is this contract than the one you had with the UFC for the Paris fight? Like 3 times bigger, 2 times bigger, 4 times bigger? What would you say?
10 times.
10 times bigger.
Yeah.
Must be nice, Cedric. So you're happy.
I'm very happy. I'm very glad. Now it's time to buck it up. It's time to win, because I've talked, and everybody is just like this. In France, you know what? In France, everybody, they are waiting for that fight, that first fight.
Wow.
They are on the phone, on Twitter. They're just waiting. If I lose that fight, I'm fucked.
They're waiting for you to fail. Do you feel like you have more haters than supporters?
No, I have more supporters than haters, of course.
Okay.
No doubt about that. And I think also people love to hate me. They know that I'm kind. I talk a lot, of course, but I always back it up. I always back it up. So they love to hate me, but I have some real hater. They really don't like me, but still they are watching my fight. They are commenting. They are tapping my name, so it's cool. I like it.
You said since the Paris UFC card till now, you've become a lot more popular, a lot more famous. What has changed?
I fought once. And a lot of content on YouTube, and people, the hype, is just growing because people, I created something around me, who make that people, they really want to see me fight. They really want to see me because they, also people with that new fan, the new fan in MMA, because MMA is very like new in France, and before you have those football, like soccer fans, and now they're interested in MMA, and now they just know me. They didn't know me before with my kickboxing career, and now they are discovering me. So I created a very very big hype around me, and that's why they're waiting for that first fight, that first test also, and I'm also like I know that that's the first test for me because I have 4 fights in MMA. That wasn't the best fighter in MMA, of course, because it's always step by step. But as I talk a lot, they are waiting for the first test. People want to see me on the floor. People want to see my ass on the on the mat. They want to see if I have a good wrestling defense, if I have a good BJJ, I will show them.
And you're a comedian as well.
Yes, I try.
You try, yes. Who would you compare your comedy to? Which famous comedian would you say your style is like?
I think I'm a little bit more. I'm a little bit better than Kevin Hart.
Oh,
I'm kidding.
Nice. I like it. See, that's confidence. What do you like doing the best, comedy or fighting?
Comedy.
You like it better?
I like comedy. Yeah, there is no diet on comedy.
That's right.
Yeah, there is no fighting on comedy. Yeah, I like comedy more than fighting. But fighting is in my DNA. Like I think I will never leave that sport.
Are you in movies and stuff over there in France?
But only small movies,
Okay.
like not big stuff.
Is that the goal?
But in the future, yes.
You'd like to be in?
Yeah, it's the goal. Of course, I would like to be in. Even in US, like American movies. Why not? I have to practice my English.
Sure.
Better.
No, it's very good, and your social media stuff is very good, very on point. Your engagement is tremendous, and you're going to make your debut for PFL. It is June the 23rd against Jara Hussein Al Silawi. This is going to be
Exactly.
a special, like it's not part of the season, right? Like you're not in the tournament, correct?
I'm in the tournament.
Oh,
I have to listen. The thing is what? I have to win this fight. I have to knock him out at the first round if I want to go in the tournament.
Oh wow, okay. So you can win the $1 million this year.
Of course.
Okay. And do they have plans?
And I will.
Do they have plans to go to France with you?
I don't know yet.
Okay.
I didn't discuss with my team about that. I don't know yet. But I think, of course, can they organize an even PFL in France without me in? That would be crazy.
What about Africa?
Africa also. I hope they are planning to go in Africa. Maybe, I can fight there. And I hope also Francis Ngannou will come in PFL. He will announce.
Yeah, he has a big announcement tomorrow. I don't know. Yeah. I saw you tweet the Cameroon flag plus the Cameroon flag. What were you referring to there?
I don't know, but, when I smell something, I'm never wrong. When I smell something, I'm never wrong.
Me and you both. When you follow the nose, it takes you to great places. By the way, you and Fernand, you guys are cool, right?
Not at all.
No?
Not at all.
Well, I saw you tweet a video of you versus him in the UFC game, or retweet a video, like the picture of you guys.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. What's the issue with Fernand Lopez?
Oh, Fernand Lopez is, he's a very special guy. I have a lot of story about him. He's a very special guy. I think we have to make another podcast if you want to talk about Fernand Lopez.
Oh, okay.
It's very long. I can take an hour if I want to talk about Fernand Lopez.
Okay, maybe you come in studio after your fight.
Of course, maybe. Why not?
In
I would
New,
like to.
yeah, that would be great. But
Yeah,
you're okay, so
yeah.
you don't want to talk. But so where are you training for this fight?
I train in France right now. I train in France. I train myself, but also I train with my grappling trainer. You know, I don't really have MMA gym. You know, for my last two fight, I train at SBG, which is the very good gym. I train there with Dave Roach and also John Kavanagh.
Oh, in Ireland.
Yeah, in Ireland. That was
Okay.
very good. That was also awesome. I like to be there, so maybe I will go back there, but not for this camp.
Wait, so you train yourself?
Yeah, I train myself.
What does that mean? You train yourself?
I mean, I have my friend. You know,
Who's your friend?
his name is Abdullah. His name is Abdullah.
What do you
For me, it's like
who's Abdul?
Abdullah is for me.
What are you
For me, it's like the best. Listen. For me, it's like the best kickboxing hold pat
Okay.
holder.
Yeah.
You know, for me, it's like the best. We start like I know him like since 10 years ago, and since I know him 10 years ago, we are together. It's like it's my friend. It's not my coach. I have a strength and conditioning trainer. I have a grappling trainer. He's a Mehdi Otman. He's the best in France. You know, I don't have an MMA trainer. That's what I mean.
Got it.
An MMA trainer.
Okay. But you did train at the MMA factory, right?
I trained there like maybe 2-3 weeks. You know, I tried.
Yeah.
And I didn't stay there.
Okay.
That's one reason.
Okay.
Why Fernando Lopez don't like me.
Okay. He doesn't
because
like you.
You cannot.
Yes.
Yeah, because you cannot dislike the way he trained. You cannot dislike his gym. You have to love him. If you don't love him the way he trained, then he doesn't like him.
Okay. And you have a very big personality.
But we talk about that.
Yeah, we'll talk about it another time. Exactly. Who's more famous in France right now? You or Mbappe?
Seriously?
Seriously?
No, Mbappe is more famous than me.
Oh, wow. That might be the most humble thing I've ever heard you say. I wanted to know if you would say you.
He's a soccer player. I cannot talk much shit about, he's a soccer player. Of course, it's more famous than me.
But I see, man, you post something, it gets 800,000 views, 500, like the people are behind you.
They are very, I've talked with Kylian Mbappe on FaceTime, you know.
Wow.
He called me, we talked together. He said, listen, I know shit about MMA, UFC, but I will wake up at 5 for you. That's
wow.
what he said.
He just called you up like that?
Yeah, because we have a friend together.
Yeah.
And that friend called me. He said, I'm with Kylian. And then he talked to me.
Incredible. All right. So the debut is June 23rd in America. You're coming to America. Yeah. That's going to be fun.
Yeah.
In Atlanta, right?
In America. I fought in Madison Square Garden.
Right.
Like maybe 6 years ago.
At the Hulu Theater, right? The theater right next to For Glory, correct?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. And so here you are coming back.
I love America.
It's a great place. And you're going to fight here. You're going to be on ESPN. And then the goal is you get the $1 million at the end of the year. And then you really shove it down the UFC's throat, right?
That's what I have in my mind. But maybe not after the 1 million tournament. But, that's the thing. I cannot decide myself. I have to talk with my team.
Oh.
And, it's not like just like that, We have to talk with the team. Also talk with PFL, with now the part of the family.
Sure.
I'm in the family right now, so that's the plan is in my mind, but it's not just that easy.
And how many years did you sign with them? With PFL?
I think it's a 2 years contract. 2 years contract.
By the way, was that true when you tweeted the picture of Dana White calling you? Was that real or was that Photoshop?
No, that was real. That I was in discussion with UFC.
Yeah.
But of course, Dana White didn't call me.
That's big.
And when you talk with UFC, you don't talk with Dana.
Sure, big mistake, I think. Back in the day, it used to be Dana that you talk with, but now
Oh.
Yeah, back in the day, so everyone thought that meant you were going back.
What do you mean?
When you tweeted that, everyone was like, "Oh wow, he's talking to Dana. He's coming back to the, he's gonna."
Oh, okay, yeah.
You know what I mean?
No, and I respond to people. I say that I'm in discussion with UFC, of course, not with Dana, but with UFC, yes.
Okay, but you're happy with the way everything has turned out?
Yeah, very happy, very happy. And I will be more happy tomorrow.
Why tomorrow?
Because tomorrow is a big day for PFL.
Okay, all right. We'll leave it at that. Last thing for you, Cedric. Your prediction. When are we talking about Cedric Doumbé as the best welterweight in the world? How long?
I think in 1 year.
1 year?
Yeah, 1 year.
1 year from now, we're saying that you're better than the UFC champion, the Bellator champion. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. Exactly, because they will see. I just need like 3 or 4 more fights, a very big highlight, and then people will understand that I'm the best.
I love it. I love your confidence, my friend. Enchanté. Bon courage.
Yeah, merci beaucoup.
Nice to meet you, my friend, and we are
Nice
very excited about your debut. Good luck to you in training, and good luck on June 23rd.
Thank you very much, and God bless America.
Yes, God bless America. There he is. Cedric Doumbé, le meilleur, as they call him in France.